Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Saturday night live stream, live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin. We'll talk about the news. We'll talk about altcoins. I'm going to move some crypto around for you guys. And as always, I'll do my very best to get to your questions and see if we can't solve your problems here live. So once again, I'm here with the rig. I was playing around with the lights earlier before the stream started. I'm a little disappointed. As you can see, I'm not disappointed with the rig at all. This case has, I don't know what they call them, strip lighting. Yeah, strip lights are built in. I built several rigs through the years, and I had dealt with the Corsair strips, and they're a little tricky. You got to get them connected, and then they've got little magnets on them, and you've got to like strategically stick them in your case, and they're easy to like bump and get off kilter and all that. But this case has the light strips built in, so it's pretty cool. What I'm disappointed about is I have this really cool mouse pad that is also RGB capable, and when it's working correctly, the light goes around the edge. But I was messing around with it earlier, and it looks like it's on its last legs because the only light here is in the corner. So I guess these things like wear out eventually, or the lights go sour. Maybe I'll do some restarts and play around with it a little bit, and we'll see what happens. Let's see. Let's get rid of this. Whoops. Nope. This. Sorry. Yeah, so welcome everybody. As I said, I'm here with the rig, having a good time. Someone was here early and asked me about Tangem and could I demo some swaps. I didn't know it had swap. but I was playing around with it, and there is some swap functionality, which I just discovered. We'll play around with that a little bit. Sorry about as we're working up towards the 6 p.m., I was playing around with the cameras and whatnot, trying to get everything configured, and forgot that the stream starts 5 minutes before I go quote unquote live. So sorry about that. Just wanted to tell you what's going on in my life. I got a couple of things here. First, I wanted to, of course, recommend Mastering Bitcoin by Andreas Antonopoulos. If you're curious about how Bitcoin works, how blockchains work, this is the definitive guide. Will open your eyes and make you really understand what Bitcoin is all about, how blockchain works. This is the granddaddy of cryptocurrency, so I would recommend using this book. There's another book called Mastering Ethereum, which is also written by Andreas Antonopoulos, which is pretty cool. I got an Amazon order in earlier today, and it's funny, the guy that sent it was a little bit eccentric. He put stamps all over this, but I had ordered, come on, Rex. I'd ordered this commemorative stamp series of Malcolm X that came out in, it's a 33-cent stamp. It came out in 1999. I don't know what everyone's streaming situation is, but we were watching Godfather of Harlem with Forrest Whitaker, which is a really good show. It's a gangster show. It's got a little violence, but it's centered in Harlem in the 60s. Pretty cool. And Malcolm X is one of the main characters in that series. There's 3 seasons. If you never heard of Malcolm X, you might want to watch that series. But in the series, I ordered this. They talked about him writing his autobiography. I ordered it from Amazon, and in the intro was where I heard about the stamp series, so I ordered that. Powerful man if you listen to any of his speeches, which you can also find on YouTube if you do a little searching. And I guess that's all the stuff I want to share with you. I think we'll try and put a little bit of crypto into Alex's ledger tonight. I did that towards the end of last week. I did a quick, someone was asking me about transfer from device to device. And of course, crypto's on the blockchain. You're not really putting anything in the device, but for all intents and purposes, you can picture it like that. And so I did a quick demo of how to move crypto from one device-based wallet to a different device-based wallet. And so maybe I'll play around with that a little bit tonight so we can watch crypto move around. Someone was here early that asked me about Tangem. So we will do some Tangem. Let's go over to this screen. I've got my phone here, and I've got the Tangem wallet pulled up. And of course, since it's a little difficult for you to see my phone, I've got my phone sharing app up and running. Make sure I didn't mute the mic so we can play around with Tangem a little bit. I'm a little bit behind tonight. We had a nice dinner, and I forgot that even though I set up the live stream last night, I forgot to do news stories today. So I only have the news stories that I pushed up last night and forgot to get up and running with the news. But we'll skip through the news as quick as we can, and then we'll get to the tech stuff that you guys want. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Mark C. said he finally made it to the live stream. Good to have you here, Mark. Andreas was here early. He saw the stream was up last night, and Mark C. just donated. I appreciate that. Oh, I'm on the... I'm going to move my speaker. Let's see. Here we are. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. I've got like this crazy setup. I had, and as you can see here, I have 3 monitors. I have a 4090 graphics card, which can support 3 monitors. And so I have this huge, I forget what it is. I think it's a 42-inch monitor. And I had originally had it up in front of me and it was just too big. And so it was just sitting over on the side gathering dust. And at one point I decided to connect it over there on the side table and I play my games over there. When I'm gaming, I play over there. And as you can see, there's a little sound bar over there. And so I shift everything over there. And that's my like little area to play games. But now I'm got my setup here ready to roll. Let's see. Let's go back to live. I forgot to thank everybody. Andreas wanted me to talk about Celsius, which I will talk about. I'm just as in the dark as you as far as all that legalese goes. Suffice it to say, it is my understanding that they are going to make people that had deposited crypto whole again with a plus 1% over and above what they had in there, I think, or 2% or 3%. It's not huge, but it's a little bit more than what they had deposited. And I'm assuming that they're talking about the crypto itself, right? So if you had 0.1 Bitcoin on their platform, you'll get your 0.1 Bitcoin back. And of course, Bitcoin has gone up and down. I don't remember where it was exactly when Celsius shut down all withdrawals. I'm assuming it was up higher at the time, but at least you're going to get your Bitcoin back. As far as the legalese goes, I really don't know all the details. I don't believe I ever had anything on Celsius. There was another BlockFi, I think, that I had done a demo on, but I kind of felt uncomfortable keeping my Bitcoin on one of those online platforms because I knew that it was not self-custody. You're basically lending them your coins, and those of you who got cut off discovered exactly what the difference between self-custody and custodial solutions were now that you've been cut off from your hard-earned Bitcoin. So from what I understand, they will make everybody whole again. I don't know what their timeline is, but that's about all I've got as far as the Celsius situation goes. I'm assuming if you open an account, you've identified yourself. You have a record of all of the crypto that you had stored on there, and you'll be taken care of. I don't know what hoops you have to jump through. I wouldn't think there would be too many, right? Maybe they'll allow you to just log back into your accounts at some point. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. Let's jump quickly into the news. It's been a wild roller coaster ride this week. Let's see. I hope there isn't anything crazy that I have open over here. You never know what I'm reading. Let's see. This and this. And, okay. I forgot what I was going to show you guys. Oh, God. Okay. All right, we're going to play around with Coinbase a little bit. Okay, we got that. And I totally lost my train of thought when I went to go through that. Oh, the news. Yeah, that's what we're doing here, the news, right. Luckily, I saved these. All right, so the first big news this week was the Bitcoin. No, not this one. Doggone it, come on. The breaking, right, that was it. Thursday, Grayscale wins SEC lawsuit for Bitcoin ETF review. This was not an approval by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a crypto victory against the SEC. The judge ruled in favor of Grayscale. I believe the Grayscale was denied an ETF review or something like that. They were just sort of shut down with extreme prejudice, and the SEC, the courts ruled that the SEC was not within its rights to do that and has to consider their application. Something about, let's read it a little bit. But anyway, the market shot up on that. I don't remember what I was doing, but I looked at my phone and thought, wow, Bitcoin is really shooting up. I think I saw some crypto alerts on my phone from crypto.com, and then I looked, I was like, oh my God, we're almost back up at 28. And then, so that was the big jump this week. And so let's look a little bit into that. Crypto asset manager Grayscale Investments has scored a major victory against the United States SEC in its efforts to convert its over-the-counter Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into a listed Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. Previously, the SEC rejected its GPTC application on grounds that the products were not designed to prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices. Grayscale subsequently sued, and the decision has been overturned. So according to August 29th court filings, U.S. Court of Appeals Circuit Judge Naomi Rao ordered Grayscale's petition for review be granted and the SEC's order to deny the GPTC listing application be vacated. Previously, Judge Rao said that the SEC did not offer any explanation as to why Grayscale was in the wrong. However, the order does not guarantee the eventual listing of a Grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF. So that was the big market-moving news. Well, within a few days of that, the deadline for the SEC to make a decision on several other ETF applications came due, and they either have to approve, deny, or delay, and they delayed. And that brought the market right back down where it was before. Let's see that story. That was Bitcoin traders wipe Grayscale gains after SEC delays spot ETF decisions. Rose and fell sharply in less than a day. Okay, so it wasn't even a couple of days. In less than a day, Bitcoin has shed nearly all the gains it made from Grayscale's investment court victory against the United States SEC. On August 29th, Bitcoin popped a 2-week high after a judge ruled the Securities and Exchange Commission was arbitrary and capricious when it rejected Grayscale's spot Bitcoin ETF. However, the SEC's August 31 decision to delay 7 pending spot Bitcoin ETF applications sent Bitcoin's price downward, falling nearly 5% in the 24 hours to 12 a.m. UTC September 1st. CoinGraph Markets Pro data show Bitcoin's price at around 26,000, falling steeply from around 27,300 level it had been sustaining since the Grayscale win. Spot Bitcoin ETF applications from BlackRock, WisdomTree, Van Eck, Bitwise, Valkyrie, and Fidelity, along with a joint fund application by Investco and Galaxy, were all delayed by the SEC. The price decline came even though some experts, including Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas and James Sefart, had expected the delays to take place. So it was already expected, but when the news hit, it moved the market back down again. Just kind of goes to show you how fragile the market is these days. And that leads us to today, where the current story is, it was kind of a spoiler alert when I pulled this one up first, but here we are. Former SEC chair says spot Bitcoin ETF approval is inevitable despite delays. And Mark C., that alert came up and the speaker was on the wrong the sound was on the wrong speaker. I don't know if I remembered to thank you profusely for your donation. I was too busy playing around with my rig. So just wanted to make sure that I got in that big thank you for Mark C. And I will show you how to do some swap stuff in Tangem here shortly. Let's just cover this little story here. SEC Chair, former SEC Chair, Jay Clayton, following the U.S., the SEC decision to delay, former Chair Jay Clayton said he believed approval was still going to happen at some point. In a September 1st interview with CNBC, Clayton said major financial institutions backing spot Bitcoin investment vehicles represented a shift in how retail investors could get exposure to crypto. Okay, we know about the delay. The commissioner has another 45 days upon publication of the notice in the Federal Register to approve, deny, or again delay the ETF applications from these 7 major firms. So 45 days is like a month and a half, right? So we'll see. Would be pretty amazing, right? So there's hope. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. And this is just market stuff. And of course, this is all about Bitcoin, right? This has nothing to do with any of the other cryptos out there. There are some in the U.S. There are Ethereum, well, maybe just one Ethereum futures contract investment vehicles that are listed in commodities exchanges in the U.S., but no Ethereum ETFs and exchange traded funds where you can actually trade. An exchange traded fund is usually a firm that actually holds the underlying asset, in this case Bitcoin and or Ethereum, and the price of the asset is basically people are trading on the price of the asset almost by holding the asset, but a little bit indirectly because they're holding shares in the exchange traded fund, but they're basically holding the underlying asset because the their profits or losses are based entirely on the asset itself, in this case Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? So, but yeah, I mean, we're just basically dealing with Bitcoin only in this, but in the past the broader crypto market has generally tagged along with the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the major market mover for the overall crypto markets, right? And I'm not sure what the current there's a metric that they use which makes up total market capitalization of all the crypto markets, and Bitcoin is a large percentage of that. I don't know exactly what its percentage is at the moment, but when the price of Bitcoin goes up, the rest of the crypto market tends to follow, right? But I just wanted to clarify that we're just talking all this ETF stuff is just Bitcoin, none of the other cryptos. Okay, so let's just go ahead and dive right in to that Tangem demo. And I can just do it here. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, so if you're not familiar with the Tangem wallet, I do have a video on Tangem. I think I've done a couple of them. By the way, I did drop a video on the Ledger Stacks. We talked about this last week. In fact, this video was just taken from the stuff we did during the live stream. I just edited it down for public consumption. So those of you who were here last week remember us talking about the Ledger Stacks and the update that Ledger gave us about the delay. But the Tangem videos, yeah, I got 2 Tangem videos. The setup video and the wallet showdown video. So this video, if you're interested, would just be if you would like to learn how to set up a Tangem wallet. It's a complete unboxing and setup video. And then in this video, I compare the Tangem to the Trezor T. And that's a pretty good video. I'll post a link to that here if you're interested in any of those. And for those of you who are just a quick overview of how Tangem works, you buy a Tangem wallet, and what did I just do there? It's not what I was trying to do. You buy a Tangem wallet, and let's put it in this browser here. Whoops. And whoops. Okay. Put a Y in the beginning there. The Tangem wallet is like an NFC card. And you get this NFC card, and you set it up, and then when you get it, you initialize it. The private key is initialized, and it's randomly generated private key that is stored on this card. And of course, it's a hardware wallet. It's offline, but there's no backup phrase. You never have to write down a backup phrase. The only backup is the other two cards. So when you initialize the first card, during that process, you will set up your two backups. So they're interchangeable. And if you lose one card, you can start using one of the other cards. But there's no seed phrase, right? So if you lose all three cards, you lose your crypto. A lot of people bag on it because of that. But a lot of people just understand that, you got to learn to keep track of your stuff, right? So don't lose your three cards. There are acts of gods like floods and hurricanes or whatever. So, but a flood and a hurricane would wipe out any seed phrases that you had written down that were stored at your house also. So it doesn't, but I get it, right? It's only those three cards. And let's see, there was, a lot of people have asked me, what if you lose this card and someone else finds it? Do they have access to your crypto? And the answer is no, because when you initialize the card, you set up your own personal passphrase. And I think we did this on the live stream a couple of weeks back when we tried to access the card from my old phone. And there was no way to do it without entering the passphrase that I had set up. So if someone were to just find this card and try to sync it to their own phone and somehow access the crypto, they would not be able to do it because of my passcode, right? So that's the card. So when you initialize the card, it works in conjunction with your phone. And as I've just showed you, I have the Tangem app on my phone, and I do have some crypto in it. So let's kind of take a look. And so let's see, who asked me that question? I think it was Mark C. Mark C said, show me some of the swap features on the Tangem wallet. And I was a little surprised because I didn't know they even had swap features. So if we look, like for example, if we go to Tether and we tap on Tether, there's no swap functionality here. There's also no buy functionality. Now, if we go to, say, Tron, notice there's buy functionality. And so if you choose buy, I'm assuming it's going to ask you to set up a third-party payment processor, which if you look down there at the bottom, it's Mercurio. I generally don't deal with that kind of stuff. Most of these third-party payment processors in the crypto wallets are European-centric. Most of these third-party payment processors that will deal in crypto are not US-based, which doesn't make them bad. It just makes them a little tricky for someone in the US to get set up and configured. Sometimes the interface is a little wonky or whatever, but it does say that you can use Google Pay or Apple Pay with those. But I'm not going to do the the buy functionality because I haven't set that up. I generally try to avoid like those third-party payment processors because I find them a little hard to use sometimes. The ID verification is especially tricky. Generally, you're going to have to scan your photo ID and take some sort of weird selfie, and sometimes that whole process fails. I would prefer, if I'm going to buy crypto, I generally will buy my crypto on on a centralized exchange like Coinbase or Kraken. Binance US no longer supports fiat on-ramps or off-ramps, but you can still trade on Binance US. And of course, if you're not in the US, if you're over in Europe or in Asia, you most likely have access to Binance proper and can use Binance to make your purchases. I have found that, first of all, I trust the bigger, more centralized exchanges, especially Coinbase. A lot of people bag on Coinbase, but I do find that I feel they're more trustworthy. I have no problem connecting my bank to them, and the fees are generally cheaper. And for me, it's easier to use and kind of easier to get set up and verified. So that's my argument against these third-party buys. But you can swap, but not every crypto supports it. So let's check Cardano. Well, Cardano has the buy button. So we could buy Cardano if we set up the third-party payment processor, right? But I noticed that, let's say Polygon, this button has actions. And so if we do that, you'll notice that they have buy and swap for Polygon. And that takes us into the swap feature. Now, once you're in here, I think you can, I guess you can't. Okay, so you can't switch from here. You have to exit out and go into the crypto. So we'll go into the Ethereum, we'll go to actions, and we got buy, sell, and swap. And so now I have a swappable token that I can use to buy or, swap for another token. And then you have several choices here. So we could buy some US Tether with our Ethereum, or we could buy some US dollar coin with our Ethereum. And I'm assuming this is ERC20 based USDC and Tether. And then you could also buy some other coins like Polygon if you wanted to. And you could do max and just buy that, or you could change it down, say, like this one. Let's just go ahead and do a little swap of Ethereum to Matic. Now, when I do this, I'm sure I'm going to need to use the card. So why don't I go over here to this other demo table. Okay, good. We're in good shape here. I've got the phone up and I've got the card ready. Now, I've noticed that when you need to use the card, you have to use it facing away from you under your phone. So let's see what happens when we do this swap. All right, it needs my Face ID. Okay, now it's ready to scan, so I'm going to bring the card back behind here. And that worked. Okay, it says it's in progress. And so there we go. So it's not every crypto that is supported by the wallet, but select cryptos have this swap capability to where you can swap them back and forth within the app. Now, I didn't really look at it that closely before I did the swap to see what my fees were. I'm assuming that, if you're swapping on the Ethereum blockchain, that there's going to be some higher fees than if, say, you were swapping on the Polygon blockchain. And I'm not sure whether I'm getting native Polygon or ERC20 based Polygon. But it still says in progress. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. Okay, so it says transactions in progress. And so we'll just hang out for a minute and see what happens there. We can go back here. Maybe do this thing. Did it do it? I forget how much was in there. Yes, so see what we got here was ERC20 based Polygon. We didn't get native Polygon. So I don't know that there's any way to bridge this Polygon to native Polygon from within the wallet. I doubt it. Yeah, there's just the swap functionality. So yeah, if we go over here to the Polygon chain, we have the swap functionality, and you'll notice here, if I had a Matic balance in this wallet of native Matic, then I could swap it for US Tether Polygon base. See, there's a tiny little Polygon icon there above it. So there's quite a bit of functionality in the Tangem wallet that I didn't even know about. I just assumed that it was just a storage only, mostly. And it does support quite a few cryptos. If we go to manage tokens, you've got Bitcoin, you've got US dollar coin, Dogecoin, Solana, Polkadot, Shiba Inu, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and then the EVM chains, right? We've got Avalanche. They support Stellar, Binance US Dollar, Arbitrum, VE Chain, VET. That's pretty good. Optimism. So yeah, it's a very versatile wallet. Let's see if I can get that out of there. But yeah, it looks like it doesn't have the functionality to go swap between chains, right? So if you're in the swap, you're either swapping on the Ethereum chain or the Polygon chain or the Avalanche chain or Binance Smart Chain. I think they support Binance Smart Chain. So pretty cool, right? And I did lose some. I think it was, I lost about $1 when I did that swap. But I'm going to swap this back just because I'm not that crazy about ERC20 based Polygon. But I'll just go ahead and max it back and swap that back to Ethereum just for the heck of it. It says, okay, there it is. The fee there is down there. It says normal, 97 cents. So the trading fees on the Ethereum chain are a bit high, right? So let's see. I'll give permission here, I guess. Okay. Oh, okay. Whatever. Oh, I've got to give it permission to trade it. This is kind of what you do in Uniswap too. Let's bring the card back. All right. So I've given the permission to trade my Matic. Now I should be able to swap it here shortly. And that cost me $1. kind of a bummer. All right. Well, let's give that a minute and see what happens. And let's see, where are we? Hopefully it won't take too long. There it goes. All right, so now we can do our swap. And so whenever you're trading on a DEX and you're trying to trade a token that you haven't traded before, there is something that has to happen on the blockchain that allows you to trade that asset. And I don't know I don't know why that step is there, but it is, right? So you have to give, what just happened? What just happened? Ugh, are you kidding me? I thought I just gave it permission. Let's try that again. Okay, swap. Hurry up before it goes away. All right, I got to Face ID this, got to scan my card, and then we can swap it back. Now, a lot of people, they'll say stuff like, oh, don't use your Face ID. The hackers are can get your face and all that stuff. Don't use your fingerprint. I remember I think on the Keystone Pro, it has a fingerprint reader, and people will say stuff like, "Oh, don't do that because there's so many organizations out there that have your fingerprint." Or someone mentioned, "What if you lose your finger? Will you lose? What if you cut your finger off in a farming accident? Will you lose your crypto?" And I'm like, "No, you won't lose your crypto. It always can fall back on the pin." The reason that the Keystone and the Tangem have the Face ID is so you don't have to enter your PIN code every time you want to make a trade or a transfer, right? It's just a matter of convenience, and it's local, right? It's not like someone is going to suck your Face ID out of this wallet because you're using Face ID. It's basically just hijacking the Apple functionality of the Face ID on your phone. So I'm not really worried about using my Face ID on my phone, and I'm not going to apply a stricter standard to a crypto wallet. I mean, theoretically, someone could, if they had me and my phone, could show me the phone and steal my crypto. But that's once they have control of me and my phone, my crypto is the least of my worries, right? But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to only use the PIN and an attacker had a gun to your head and he had your phone and he had you, then you could theoretically refuse to give him your PIN and your crypto would be safe. Although you may not make it through that. Make it through that. So anyway, I get a lot of questions about security and that sort of thing. But anyway, I think we got our Ethereum back to the form that we wanted it, right? And so we're back. Right, so that's the swap. It's pretty cool. Maybe later in the stream we'll throw some regular Polygon into this wallet, and then we can play around with the Polygon swap. I'm sure it's cheaper, right? Let's go back over here. But that was kind of fun. I appreciate that. Let me say hello to some newcomers and respond to some of the people that are in. Thanks for being here, JDO. It's good to have you. Thanks for being here, Dan. I appreciate both of you guys. Dan, I saw Randy yesterday. I did want to talk to you guys about that too. That's on the agenda. So Randy and I helped a couple that had some trouble with a Bitcoin ATM machine. And I'm going to tell you the story. I won't reveal any names, but I will let you know that I was there and our good friend Randy. But let me catch up with some of the chat first. So it was around 35K during the time that the Celsius shut down withdrawals. So Bitcoin is significantly less, but Bitcoin is Bitcoin. If they make you whole on your Bitcoin and you had, say, half a Bitcoin in there, I'm sure you'd be more than happy to get that half a Bitcoin back, even though the price is lower than when when it was in Celsius. You can get it back, put it in your own wallet or, whatever you want to do with it. And then you can wait, right, for the price to go back up. Or just hang on to the Bitcoin or sell it. Just take your loss and sell it, whatever you want. Hello, CryptoDad, here to stay until the end stream. I always watch some of your past streams when I couldn't live. Good to have you here. Nemo Hoses 323_ETH. TB watching. Hello. P Wizzle. What should I understand about UTXO's addresses with the XPub on the ledger? UTXO, I think, is just you know what? I don't even know what that term means. I'm assuming it's a transaction hash or something. Unspent transaction output. Oh, okay, yeah. It's a little weird the way Bitcoin works. It was built in a long time ago. I don't know that every crypto uses these, but basically when you spend part of your Bitcoin out of your wallet, it's kind of weird. The way it works on the blockchain is that I don't want to say it wrong here, but it has something to do with the entire wallet. I don't know if this is correct or not, but let's just say that you spend more than, like say you do a transfer, you spend more than the transfer is, and then you get change back. It's almost like, your Bitcoin is a $100 bill, and so you have to give the $100 bill, and then you get change back from the transaction. It all happens under the hood, and if you're just making a transfer or doing a trade, you're not really going to notice it that much. But when you do a blockchain explore, you will see that under the hood on the blockchain, there's this whole thing about the transaction being spent and then change coming back to you. A distinctive element in a subset of digital currency models represents a certain amount of cryptocurrency that has been authorized by a sender and is available to be spent. Yeah, it's complicated. But like I said, you can be overly curious about it and wonder what it's all about. But in the end, if you transfer 0.1 Bitcoin out of your wallet and you have a whole Bitcoin, then when all is said and done, you will have 0.1 less Bitcoin in your wallet, even though there's like this weird stuff going on under the hood where it's spending it out and you're getting change in return. I know, it's just kind of weird. I think it happens on Bitcoin. I know it happens in Monero. It's just kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, it's like you don't really need to worry your pretty little head around about it. I don't. But I have noticed it on the blockchain. It is kind of weird, but it's just how it works under the hood. But it really doesn't steal your crypto or anything like that. It's just one of those things that happens under what's going on. But a good question. Thank you, Paul. And now I think you're the guy. Now the guy you were talking about, but he speaks so complicated about it with jurisdiction vocabulary that I don't understand as a non-native English speaker. Well, legalese is defined as a way that lawyers can make something that's fairly straightforward sound complicated, which makes them feel like they earn their degrees and they're above us and we're below them, that kind of weird stuff. But it's mostly just complicated terms for everyday stuff. All ETFs should be approved by January 1st, 2024, says Dan. Cool. All right. Let me question. Do you know what is going on with Swan and Fortress Bank? Not particularly. I have been reading some stuff about banking. Lately, we had the banking scare earlier in the year. But the article that I was reading about SVF, something Valley Bank. I can't remember the name of the banks, the Silicon Valley Bank, and the three banks that were had the liquidity crisis and were taken over by the FDIC earlier this year, was kind of a targeted hit on cryptocurrency related banks. The article that I was reading I read a lot of conspiracy stuff, but the article that I was reading was saying that there are a lot of banks that are in the same position as those banks were. They had a liquidity shortfall due to the fact that they had some cash reserves and they had bought U.S. Treasury bonds at a certain rate back
during COVID, the rates were like at zero. So they had treasury bonds that were like very low return. And then the rates were being raised by the Federal Reserve. So now no one wants to buy those bonds because the return on those bonds is much lower than the current U.S. Treasury bonds, which pay 5%, I guess. And so they had unrealized losses. And so when people started demanding their money, these bank runs, these banks were quickly shut down by the FDIC. But it was kind of a conspiracy against crypto-friendly banks. But the danger of a bank liquidity crisis is real and kind of under the surface. But in hindsight, it's very easy to see that they were targeted hits, because if there was a real banking crisis, it would have spread very quickly, right? These were just like targeted hits on these banks and took them out. But that doesn't mean that the bank liquidity crisis is over. I haven't heard about these particular banks, but maybe I shouldn't be talking about this stuff in a crypto live stream. I'm here to do tech support mostly. But in answer to your question, I tried to buy Tangem with my Barclays Visa and they declined payment even after email verification. Sorry to hear that. Don't know. I think Tangem is based in, it's either Sweden or Switzerland. Let's see. Tangem is Switzerland. So I'm not sure why they would decline one of your cards. Possibly some international whatever. I'm sorry to hear that happened. I'm sure you might try a different card. I don't know why they would decline your card. Barclays is a pretty, reputable organization, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. Sorry, guys. I'm a little behind. Looks like Dan. Does Tangem give you any way to back up the seed phrase? No, and no. They give you 2 cards for your backup. That's it, period. That's the whole point. The upshot of that is, 1, it's really easy to set up and use the Tangem card. And number 2, it is impossible for a naive user to accidentally reveal their seed phrase or be tricked into revealing it by a hacker or a scammer. So those are really good pluses. A lot of people get scammed into revealing their backup phrases on traditional hardware wallets, right? It's one of the top ways that people get scammed out of their crypto. They get tricked into revealing their backup phrase. So Tangem does not have a backup phrase. But yes, there is no way to back up your Tangem wallet with a seed phrase. No way. It all happens on the card. Your only chance is during the initialization phrase when you set up your 2 backup cards. That's it, period. Boom. That's the concept. It's a little it's kind of different. It's a very unique and different way for a crypto hardware wallet to work. Right. So yeah, but that's a very good question, but they have no way of doing a backup to your card. Sounds right, but do these UTXOs accumulate and slow down future crypto transactions? I don't know that they make them any slower. I'm addressing Paul here. He's asking me about these UTXOs. I don't know that. I mean, the Bitcoin blockchain is set. They're not going to go in there and change the way the blockchain works. So we're just going to have to learn to live with UTXOs. I would assume that since there's more going on, that it's slightly long, but compared to what, I don't know, because crypto works using those. So I don't think there's anything to compare it to. There might be other blockchains that don't use them that might be faster. I don't know. I've never really looked into it because it's just something that happens under the hood that hasn't really concerned me that much. Maybe I'll look into it a little more. Okay, so Dan is filling people in. The SEC has a bizarre approval process. Doesn't mean the grayscale. Okay. All right. So it looks like Dan and JDO are keeping up with questions. Why can't still buy XRP on Coinbase? It says watch only. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that Coinbase had listed had relisted XRP. Let's check there. I am in advanced Coinbase, and if we're in spot, if we go XRP, we can trade it. Can you buy it? Well, I think you could buy it if you, yeah, I can buy it. You got to have some money in there. Now, maybe in advanced Coinbase, if you have a cash balance, right, or another crypto that you want to swap, well, actually, no, it has to be a cash balance because there's only one trading pair for XRP, and it's XRP USD, right? I don't see any other pairs. Oh, I'm sorry. So you could trade it if you have Tether or euros in your Coinbase account. So these are the three trading pairs. So you can definitely buy XRP. Asil, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Now, but that's advanced Coinbase. So I guess maybe you're wondering if you're in regular Coinbase, if you hit buy, and you want to, well, you can buy XRP from, $50 worth from your bank account if you want to pay the $1.99 fee, right? So it's going to allow me to do this. Let's see if it rejects it. Ugh, what? That's not what I wanted. That doesn't make sense. Oh, I did have, I had already chosen the bank. Okay, so, well, I guess I bought it. I was waiting. I thought that the next screen was going to tell me to choose my bank, but I already chose my bank. Yep. But I bought it, right? And I did pay, I did pay the $2, right? So if we go to my assets, we should see that I have XRP. Oh, and this thing, something is wrong with Coinbase right now because I cannot scroll up and down in here. It's rather frustrating. So, yeah, I don't know why that is. When I go, oh, Ted Tier, thanks for the subscribe. So I inadvertently bought some XRP. If we go to advanced and we go to portfolio, yeah, you can see I bought the XRP. Silly me. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, well, good thing I had some money in my bank, right? Okay. Did you see that Ledger made the recovery service open source? Can you go through it on the stream with us? I've been over and over the Ledger Recover service. It generates a lot of controversy. Let me just say, in general, that I don't plan on ever using the Ledger Recover service. I don't think it's a good thing to have someone else managing your private keys for you, and because the keys are the seed phrase is stored on private servers, they can be compelled by law enforcement and the government to reveal that information, and they would have no choice but to reveal it. And the fact that it's split up between Ledger and some firm in the UK and some firm in the US doesn't make me feel any better. They're all part of the same financial and pretty much the same law enforcement system. Like they're covered by Interpol and the federal banking regulations and all that stuff. So if a government entity wanted access to my backed up seed phrase, I don't believe there's any way to stop it. And that's my main beef with the Ledger Recover service. Yes, they've done a great job to make it cryptographically sound. They use Shamir backup to break up your seed phrase into several pieces. It's a great service for newcomers that are unfamiliar with crypto and want that safety and security of having their seed phrase backed up. I personally don't agree with it. I don't want to use it. I don't know. I didn't hear that they made it completely open source, but I believe that they released a white paper on it, the Ledger Recover white paper that outlines how it works. And they've made some steps to make their firmware open source. The big controversy is that now there's a huge segment of the crypto community that does not trust Ledger anymore, that thinks that the updated firmware steals their private keys, and several layers and levels of how that all works. Some people believe they've always been stealing their keys. Some people believe it introduces a vulnerability. People like me don't believe that the firmware update is any different than what is already had, which is the user ability to use their private key. We've always had the ability to use our private key when we use our ledger by authorizing transactions with the buttons. And exporting your private key during the setup is also user initiated and can only be done by using the buttons. People complain that Ledger is not fully transparent in this, but Ledger has never been transparent. It was designed as a wallet that has a secret to protect it against attackers. The way it works is secret, and it's not the only wallet out there that uses that philosophy, right? A lot of wallets use secure chip elements that are by design secret so that people can't figure out how the private key is used and stored. Ledger is a little more, has their own operating system, and their firmware is a little is not open source either, but there are lots of wallets out there without open source firmware and secure chip elements. There's only a very few out there like Coldcard and Trezor that actually have completely open source architecture, and that introduces another surface of attack because attackers can analyze that open source code and look for vulnerabilities, and they have done so in the past. So there's always a trade-off with whatever method you decide to use to implement your hardware wallet. So Ledger runs on the philosophy that the way the hardware wallet works is secret. It's a black box. No one knows how it works. They tell you that it works, and you trust them that it works, because it's tested by outside third-party organizations and standard organizations, and they've been in business 8 years now, and no one from Ledger has drained one of their wallets. If people were getting their Ledger wallets drained, it would be common knowledge. All it is speculation. So I'm done talking about this. I'm sorry. Cranky old man again. But yeah, the people that come in the live stream on a regular basis are tired of hearing me talk about this issue. But I wanted to talk to you guys about this nice couple, and here's the story. The story is that I was told by my good friend Randy that there was a couple that had bought $8,300 worth of Bitcoin at a Bitcoin ATM, and they didn't know what happened to their Bitcoin. And I was flabbergasted. I was like, who goes to a Bitcoin ATM and puts in $8,300 without knowing what they're doing? And so I got what documentation they had. They gave it to Randy, and Randy gave it to me. And we could see that they had purchased $8,300 worth of Bitcoin at this Bitcoin ATM. And they had some other documentation that they were instructed to download the Cash app, which can be used to custody Bitcoin. So if we go over here to the Cash app, yeah, you can see that there is an area where you can store Bitcoin in the Cash app, right? So, and it works like a regular Bitcoin wallet. I'm not sure I thought they used to have a QR code, but I don't see that anymore. It looks like now you just copy the Bitcoin address into your clipboard. But you can store Bitcoin in here. But this is not a Bitcoin self-custody wallet. This is it's like an exchange, but it is, for all intents and purposes, a Bitcoin wallet. So I could see from the documentation that they sent me that they had downloaded the Cash app. So I thought, okay, they just are not familiar with this, and we're going to meet with them, and I'm just going to open up their Cash app and show them where the Bitcoin is stored. So as you can see, when you open up the Cash app and you look, you've got your cash balance and you've got your Bitcoin balance, and there it is. I've got 0.001 something something Bitcoin in my Cash app. So I thought it was going to take me 5 minutes to say, let me see your phone, let me see your Cash app, there's your Bitcoin right there. Well, it wasn't like that. It was much more complicated than that. What had happened was they had no intention of buying Bitcoin that day. They were under the direction of a group of scammers that had installed some kind of ransomware on. It was a nice couple. Then the wife had somehow gotten ransomware on her computer. So I don't know that it was full-blown ransomware. I think it was just a variation of the ransomware attack. But according to her, she got a pop-up on her screen that instructed her to call a phone number. And so she called this phone number, and once she got on the phone with them, they directed her through email or whatever, and got remote access to her computer from there. Now, first lesson, whenever you're on your computer or on your phone and you get some kind of weird error message that tells you something along the lines of you've just been hacked, or your account has been disabled, your bank account has been disabled, your whatever account has been disabled, or a purchase of $5,000 was just made. Was this you? All that kind of stuff. Any error message like that pops up and has a phone number, please, 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 please do not call that phone number. Now, there are some error messages that pop up and cannot be dismissed by the normal means, right? There's no cancel button and there's no OK button to make them go away. Now, if you are a savvy computer user, you could try something like Alt Delete, right? And go into your task manager and just quit whatever it is that is coming up. If you're not a savvy computer user, you might need to just take your computer into Best Buy and have them get rid of it. But please do not call any phone number that pops up on a computer error message or on your phone or even an email, right? If you're going to call somebody, you make the call, right? Don't see an 888 number or whatever that says, call here and we'll fix it. So basically what happened was she called the number, they walked her through so that they got remote access to her computer, and then they told her that they had been hacked and that they had to pay somebody off or they were going to go to jail. They were using scare tactics against them. And so they had them go to some Bitcoin ATM at some weird gas station. And so they went to the ATM, the Bitcoin ATM. First, they went to their bank and withdrew $8,300. I don't know where the hackers got that number, but apparently they had $8,300 in their bank account. That wouldn't work with me because I don't have $8,300 in my bank account, but I guess some people do. So they withdrew $8,300 in cash. They were directed to a Bitcoin ATM. They attempted to purchase the Bitcoin and failed. I don't remember. I don't know. They just said that failed. And so the scammers had them go to a different Bitcoin ATM. When they were at the second Bitcoin ATM, they managed to initiate the transaction. They managed to get their cash into the ATM machine. But something threw a red flag. This Bitcoin ATM machine had a surveillance camera, had them on camera, and could see that they were on their phone. And so the Bitcoin ATM company, to their credit, had them call their tech support. And the tech support asked them if they were under duress, if they were being directed by someone, and they were honest with them. And so their funds got locked. And the scammers were thwarted. But I should tell you that sometimes these scammers will direct the scamees not to be honest with these fraud flags, right? So they'll maybe run interference ahead of time and say, look, if they tell you to call them and they ask you if someone is directing you, you tell them no, right? Well, in this case, they were honest with the company, and so they were rescued from this scam attack. Long story short, she went home, she took the computer to Best Buy, and somehow, since she had granted them remote access to her computer, they had somehow erased all traces of their software, whatever they had put on her computer. And this was done, the original scam happened within Facebook Messenger. So please be very skeptical of anything you see in your Facebook Messenger. And the resolution of the story was when Randy and I met them and heard the entire story, we called the Bitcoin ATM, got a hold of someone there, verified his identity, and he allowed them permission to talk to Randy and myself. And we talked to the Bitcoin ATM company, and we were able to, since they had been verified in their Cash App now with their ID, we were able to give the Bitcoin ATM company the Bitcoin deposit address of their Cash App and their email address. And so the Bitcoin ATM company will send them a PDF that they will need to fill out with their name and address and whatever, and sign it digitally and, type in their name. And once that's done, they will receive their Bitcoin into their Cash App. So that's where it stands. So it's a cautionary tale. Most of you in the stream understand how Bitcoin works and would probably not fall for a scam like this, but I just want you to be aware of what's out there. And another thing that was a little disconcerting to me when speaking with this Bitcoin ATM company was that they were saying Bitcoin is becoming more regulated and less anonymous. As you recall, she mentioned that there was a surveillance camera on the Bitcoin ATM machine. You have to provide identifying documents in order to use Bitcoin ATM machines. They're very wary about sending Bitcoin to a self-custody wallet. They want to use wallets like PayPal wallet or Cash App wallet, because these types of Bitcoin wallets also need IDs. And so There is no anonymity whatsoever. Bitcoin is not really anonymous anyway, but I was a little disappointed to hear that, and that seems to be the general direction that crypto is now taking. It's the government and big finance are trying to make it less and less anonymous, and harder for the little guy to, manage on his own. So, but please, guys, be very careful of these types of scams. Okay, so let me catch up. Sorry, that was kind of a long story, but I wanted to get it out there. I sent XLM from Coinbase to Kucoin and never received it. What could have happened? I copied and pasted the address. XLM does require a tag. So if all you did was the address and you didn't provide a tag, then you're going to have to deal with Kucoin tech support, big D. I was under the impression that when you sent crypto without a tag, then you were just out of luck. You lost your crypto, because they do warn you that that you have to use a tag. Now, if you did use the tag, I'll use Coinbase as an example. So if I want to deposit Bitcoin, deposit XLM, in Coinbase terminology, it's receive, right? And we go to XLM. Notice that they give you both an address and a memo field. So when you made your transfer from Coinbase to Kucoin, Kucoin should have also given you an address and a memo field. So hopefully you used both of those. Sometimes transfers like this could take a while. So if you're talking about this and it's only been a few hours, maybe you'll get it. I'd throw that computer in acid. Oh, by the way, a follow-up to that little laptop story with the Bitcoin ATM couple. She bought a brand new laptop, and she got it all set up, and then she went back into Facebook and clicked on one of those same messages and had the exact same thing happen to her again on the brand new laptop. So she had to bring it back into Best Buy, and Best Buy was like, "Don't click that. Don't click that." Oh, that's funny. Anyway, they're a really sweet, wonderful, hardworking couple. I'm glad we were able to help them get their Bitcoin back. Let's see. Bets. I know I won't be using it either. I was just trying to have him educate the people because CryptoDad seems credible. Yeah, like I said, thank you for asking that, Bets. This is the white paper for the open source roadmap. I'll put a link to that if you want to find out more about it. But I mean, basically, they are trying to be a little more transparent with their customer base concerning this. Yeah. Wonder how safe France is also, but perhaps better than the others. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of, as I mentioned, I did a video this week on the Ledger Stacks, which was mostly taken from last week's live stream. We covered this in the live stream, but I had spent most of my Monday responding to a lot of comments about Ledger being an untrustworthy company and that I was stupid for even talking about them and people attacking me for defending them. It's become quite really a contentious issue. And I'm like, it's just worn me out dealing with all of the vitriol surrounding this Ledger issue with their recover and their new firmware and all this other stuff. I'm just really disappointed that Ledger chose to get involved in this situation. But it did reveal the fact that their firmware is closed source by design, right? It's a secret. It should be a secret. And you know, the whole trust issue. I had several people that were on my side that talked about that we trust everything in life. You know, we trust our cars not to explode on impact. We trust planes not to crash, even though sometimes they do. But we put our lives in their hands when we fly on them, and we don't know how they're built. We trust banks to hold our money. Life is, you know, a risk assessment. Some people seem to believe that crypto is somehow separate from that. And in a way it is. The whole notion with crypto is trust, don't trust, verify. But the hardware wallet by design can either be done open source or with secret. The way that it works is secret. It's a black box. There are a lot of black boxes in our world. Like, we don't know what it is. You know, when I was in college, you know, the computer science and mathematics talks about the black box, which is something you don't know what goes on inside of it. This is a programming kind of a reference, but the black box is like there's code in there. We don't care how it's implemented. We don't know how it's implemented, but we can test the black box by giving it output or we can give it input and see what comes out. And by doing that vigorously, we can determine whether that software works or not. It's a concept in computer science. And so Ledger is a black box. It works. It's been tested. No one has ever seen their crypto disappear. So, but yes, there is a level of trust that we put into a crypto hardware wallet. And if you don't want to do that, then you can use a different wallet. But like I said, there are trade-offs. Stuck in my first clouds, but sometimes pilots not safe. Pilots not safe. Yeah, that's true. I trust Biden not. That's funny. Hi from Rotterdam. Good to have you. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about tonight? Let me go over here to my itinerary. Avoid crypto scams. Talked about that. I wanted to talk a little bit more about NFT scams. I'm really irritated with NFT spam. It really just is so irritating. Scammers in general are just effing irritating. I'm not saying I'm above anybody or else or any way or form, but I was brought up to trust others and trust institutions. I was born in 1963. I went to school in the 70s and the 80s. And back then, we were taught that, the government functions for our benefit. And, banks and other institutions are there for our benefit, and we trust them and we trust each other. And that's the way I was raised, And this whole idea of these scammers that just take advantage of people is just antithetical to the way I was raised. I'm not saying it's all about being in the U.S. I mean, there are people all over the world that were raised to be good citizens and, good to their selves and their community and their family. And these scammers are they disgust me, right? And so if we look in my Polygon, I am being bombarded on a daily basis with scam NFTs. And it's really effing irritating. I'm getting tired of having to, I'm really getting tired of having to hide these NFTs that come into my wallet all the time. I mean, it's just disgusting, and if you click on one of these, they're trying to make you think you just won something. I mean, it's worse than junk mail. But what I would like, and, so from the get-go, I just want to point out how disgusted I am with this behavior. But I will also have to say that there is no way to prevent this because of the way that crypto is designed. Blockchains are public. And these scammers generally will use the lower fee chains like Polygon. You don't see that many scam NFTs on Ethereum because it's the overhead is too high for these scammers. But they're sending out these scam NFTs to make you think you've won something, right? Here's one that's telling me I've won 5,000 US dollar coin. So you cannot prevent these. You can hide them, but where's somewhere? Let me go back here. Okay, so you can. Well, it's over here. I'm sorry. Okay, it's here. The three dots will allow you to hide it, but I have to do them one at a time, and that means I would have to come in every day and go through this tiresome process of hiding these scam NFTs. They are harmless, right? In your wallet, they are completely harmless. They're not going to do anything to your wallet unless you try to interact with them. If you try to interact with them, then you will give permission for some malicious smart contract to empty your wallet in one form or another. It might be a malicious contract that allows the attacker to take all of your, valid or, real NFTs, ones that are worth something. Or it might allow the attacker to empty the entire wallet of all your tokens and all your crypto. But if you don't interact with them, they cannot do anything, right? So we can hide them if we don't want to look at them, or we can just ignore them completely because you would spend, a good amount of your time simply hiding these scam NFTs. And personally, I have better things to do than hide scam NFTs. But just because you see a scam NFT in your wallet does not mean that the attacker has any ability to steal your crypto. It's when you interact with them. So ignore them or hide them. Don't interact with them. That's all you gotta remember, right? But I am thoroughly disgusted that these hackers are spamming my wallet with these scam NFTs. And what it really disgusts me that that a lot of people fall for this and get their wallets emptied out. Yeah. So, you have this beautiful, wonderful community project of the Ethereum network or the Polygon network where, you're bringing crypto finance to the masses, and the unbanked can, have access to, a cheap, easy to use, decentralized currency that's not controlled by banks. And then you have these disgusting scammers that take advantage of that beautiful, wonderful, public, community-oriented blockchain to try and scam other people out of their crypto. It's like breaks my heart, but it is what it is, right? Sucks. So we've all got a bunch of scam NFTs in our wallet. Just don't interact with them, or you can hide them in Ledger Live. It's pretty easy to hide them. Let's check in this Ethereum wallet. I get them in my, no, actually these are legitimate ones that I bought. And I used to get some scam Ethereum NFTs, but I have them hidden now. But yeah, let's see this one. Yeah, there's a bunch over here too. See this one, 5,000 US dollar coin. Just, you know, what they want you to do is go to this website, and then they'll ask you to connect your wallet, and then you know, an alert box will pop up for you to authorize transaction or whatever, and they'll empty your wallet, right? So greed and fear. Don't get caught up in, oh my God, $5,000. Well, I didn't know I had entered this contest, but maybe I did. You know, let me see if I can get my 5,000. Don't fall for this stuff. Don't let some disgusting scammer trick you and, you know, use your greed to trick you. You know, so we got the fear, the Bitcoin scammers that used the ransomware on our nice Michigan couple used fear. They tried to tell them that they were going to go to jail unless they got this thing, this Bitcoin, and transferred it to the attackers. They used fear. These NFT scammers are using greed to try and trick you into falling for their scams. So yeah, we can hide these as well, I guess. Oh, Johnny Johnson, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Let's see. We'll just go ahead and hide them all, right? Ooh, $2,000 reward. For what? What did I do? Seinfeld has this great bit. I think it's like in the teaser to one of the Seinfeld episodes where he says, I don't want to get this premature. And it's not for sure yet, but I've been told that it's possible that I may have just won some very valuable prizes. And then he goes, and to be honest with you, I didn't even know I was in this thing. Of course, in that episode, he's talking about the junk mail that people used to get in their mailbox about that stuff. That was funny. Yeah. Oh, here's $999 reward. Okay. See, this could go on all night, right? I could just sit here all night and do this and just like hide these NFTs. Now, if I accidentally hide one of my NFTs that I actually bought, I can always unhide it later. So it's not like you're going to accidentally delete something that might be valuable, right? But I can assure you, no one is going to send you a valuable NFT out of the blue. Now, if you are one of those people that like looks for NFT airdrops or mints their own NFTs or whatever, well, then, you know, you just have to be extra careful with the scam NFTs. But if you're into, yeah, there's a Ledger Stacks giveaway. Right, Ledger's gonna give me a free Stacks using this NFT. Yeah. Oh, see, it just goes on and on and on. See, I could do this all night. All right. Okay, so let me catch up with the thing here. Bitcoin is doing a wonderful job shaking out all the kids and tourists. Pretty soon it will be only the adults left in the room. We will move higher as halving approaches rapidly. I like that sentiment, Dan. Appreciate that. Trying to understand why all the big food companies also like CPB report earning to match and raise. Outlook can hit a new high Friday. Food company. Okay, it looks like you're spamming us. I'm looking at. I'm on the wrong thing over here. Okay. Well. Yeah, we don't. Okay, here we go. We don't do coin evaluations on this live stream. I'm here to help you navigate the world of crypto custody and don't get scammed and safely store your crypto. I'm not here to hype coins or give you investment advice. I had 50K of BNB stolen from some guy acting like he was a Western Union rep. Stupidly gave him important info and just like that, gone. Wow. Sorry to hear that happen to you, Ryan. I've been scammed out of my crypto before. Even knowing what I know, I forget what I was doing, but and I forget which crypto it was. But I was looking for tech support. I forget the circumstance. It's been a couple of years now. But I was looking for support on a particular crypto on their Telegram channel. And I was contacted separately by the moderator of the Telegram channel I was in. And he said something like, because I was asking a question, how do I get something, blah, 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 whatever. And the guy came in and he said, well, in order to get this contract unstuck, you need to send a small amount to this address. And so I did. And it wasn't a lot. It was like $5 or what. It was like a couple of bucks, maybe $5, I don't know, worth of crypto. And then he said, well, it didn't work, but I need you to send it again. Well, he kept coming up with all these excuses. And then I think I even sent the second transaction. So I had sent like maybe $10 worth of this crypto. And finally it occurred to me that this guy is a scammer. He's ripping me off. And so I went back into the Telegram channel and I go, your moderator is a scammer. And the moderator immediately replied, he goes, that's not me, you dumbass. It's somebody pretending to me. I'm not going to DM you separately. And I was like, oh, now I get it. That's why it like came in as a separate like message. It wasn't like a reply from within the Telegram group. So even I fell victim to that. And I was like, oh, are you happy now? You got your $5 off me. But, I'm sure that he works all day trying to scam people into sending him crypto. Right. And as you guys well know, I've accidentally revealed my seed phrase a few times while doing demo videos. And I had one of my wallets got emptied out not too long after I posted the video. So no one is immune to being tricked. There's so many avenues that people can use to scam you. Let's see. No good. That's right. The Crypto Dad, you are awesome for going over stuff like this. Thank you for showing everyone. Of course, it's what I do. Not a lot of money in it, but hey, whatever. I feel better. I always feel better when I do the live stream. All right, so let's see now. What were we gonna do? Oh, why don't we? Let's put some native Matic in my Tangem wallet. Let's do that. So earlier we were playing around with Tangem, and we were doing some swap stuff. So let's put. I wanted to see if they supported Bitcoin or not. Whoops, let me get all this thing. Let me see here. Bitcoin actions. Okay, so buy and sell, that's it, right? There's no Bitcoin swap. There's really nothing to swap for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's on its own chain. So, and as I noticed when we were doing this earlier swap that we were doing it through 1 inch. That's going to cost me $4. But yeah, I think this is running on top of 1 inch, which is a cryptocurrency exchange, a DEX. I don't see it. Well, I mean, I can go to it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. It's a cryptocurrency DEX that you can connect. Ugh, okay. Perhaps they reject U.S. customers now. I don't know. Or there's just something weird going on. Maybe I would have to do this on a VPN now. Some of the DEXs have gone to where they don't support U.S. users anymore. But I'm pretty sure you can still use Uniswap. But it looks like the Tangem wallet is using 1inch because Tangem is based in the Switzerland. So yeah, I don't know. It could be just a glitch on my behalf. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I've used this before. I probably need a VPN now. I don't know. Let's check Uniswap. Is Uniswap going to block me? No, I can still use Uniswap. Basically, this is where you connect your MetaMask wallet. There's several choices here, and you can trade crypto. But, you know, you trade within the chains, right? So you can switch to some of the, like you can, here they support multiple chains. Like you can swap on the Optimism chain, you can swap on the BNB chain, you can swap on the Avalanche chain, but you can't swap between chains. They might have a bridge, maybe not. I think MetaMask has a bridge. Whoops. Yeah, so there is a MetaMask bridge that will allow you to move tokens between the chains, but there's fees and whatever. It's not a magic bullet or anything, but it is possible. But this is converting one from one chain to another, and there are fees involved with it, but it's not really a trade. So, but generally you trade within one chain, right? You trade on the Ethereum chain or whatever. So anyway, let's go over to Coinbase again. And what were we going to do? I don't know. Let's see, go back here. Let's swap this XRP back to dollars. All right. Because that's all I can do. I mean, I could swap it to Tether, but I'm just going to swap it to dollars. Oops, I'm in limit. Okay. All right, so that should get us back. Okay, so now let's buy the Matic. With our dollars. We'll do market and spend most of it. Okay. All right, so now we've got Matic. Do we? Yeah, so now we've got Matic, and this is native Matic, right? And so we want to put this in our Tangem wallet. So basically we want to do a withdraw of our Matic. So we need to know where to send it. So I need the address of my Tangem wallet. Well, in this case, what I need to do, how am I going to get the address of my Tangem wallet over to Coinbase? Well, I could just open Coinbase on my phone and do it that way. Or I could just share the address with myself from the Tangem wallet. So let's do that. Let's just say, okay, this is, and first of all, I want to get rid of this Polygon, the ERC20 Polygon. Or can I do that? Yeah. I want that gone because I just don't care about it. Oh, wait a minute, sorry. I want the main. I just don't want the ERC20, right? So we'll hide the ERC20 Matic. Say that there. I just didn't want to get confused with that, right? So there's our Polygon address. And I want to deposit my, just go over to my Gmail account. And there it is. And there's the Matic address of my Tangem wallet. So now I can use desktop Coinbase and paste in that address, right? And we'll send it all. And so we can double check our wallet too. We got our wallet, still got our wallet right here, right? We can go to Polygon. We can do, look at the address right there and just double check that that's the correct address of this wallet, which I'm satisfied it is, right? Looks pretty good. All right. So we'll go ahead and send it. And we'll most likely need our two-factor authentication. We're doing this on the Polygon chain. We could switch networks, but we're going to use the Polygon chain, the native chain. All right, we're ready to roll. And I'm going to need my two-factor from my Google Authenticator. So I'll go get that for Coinbase, 627586. Hopefully I'll get that in on time. Oop, it's already changed, but I think I got it in under the wire. We'll see. Okay, boom, did it. All right, so we transferred that, and then we can just kind of, Matic, native Matic usually is pretty quick. So if we go back over to Tangem, to this, there, it's already in there, right? So there, now we have Polygon, and now we can go to Actions, and we can do a swap. And so we could buy Tether, and let's take a look at the fee there. So if I were to, whoops, cannot estimate. Don't forget about minor fee, try to leave the buffer of Matic. Okay, so I'm not going to put it all in there. Let's just do 100. All right, so 2 cents. Much better than we had over on the Ethereum chain. And so we can swap that. Now we can also, we could just do 50. We could also buy some Polygon tokens as well. US Tether is a Polygon token, but I don't know about Avalanche. That seems kind of weird. But see, it's Polygon-based Avalanche. See the little Polygon icon up there? You might want to, carefully consider what you're swapping for. So if you're swapping on the Polygon chain and you're thinking, oh, okay, I want to buy some Tether, don't forget that it's Polygon-based Tether. And not every crypto exchange will accept Polygon-based Tether. The main form of Tether is ERC20-based Tether, and it has high fees. So just if you're going to use this functionality in your Tangem wallet, don't forget what chain you're dealing with, right? But the little icon, the little small icon there in the top right corner of the Tether lets us know that this is Polygon-based Tether, right? So pretty cool. I like it. Let's see what else. Well, we were thinking maybe that, oh my God, there's so many of those. I'm so tired. Let's see. What can I send over? I don't think there's much Bitcoin in this wallet right now. I don't think there's any Bitcoin in here. I've sent most of it out to other wallets. I know. We can send some Bitcoin from my Trezor. All right, so we got the Trezor wallet over here. Ugh. No, I guess not. Okay, I don't have that. I don't have that scene on my
switch. We don't need this for the moment. Okay. Got the Tangem over here. So I've got two wallets here, right? I've got my Trezor, and I've got this my son's Ledger device. So what I would like to do is send some Bitcoin from my Trezor wallet to my son's Ledger, right? So we're just going to do a transfer between our wallets. So first I'm going to open up my Trezor. Let's see here. Oops. I hope I did that right. Okay, that looks good. We'll go back over here. Let's open Trezor Suite. And there's some Bitcoin in this wallet, right? So I want to send some of that over to my son's device. All right. So we got that ready to go. So how are we going to deal with my son's device? So I'm going to open this up and take it out. All right. And so here we go. All right, so I have my son's device here. There's only one issue, is that none of the Bitcoin or crypto accounts on this device are in my Ledger Live, right? My Ledger Live is for my ledger, right? And I've got Alex's ledger here in my hand. So how am I going to get crypto into this one? Well, the first thing I'll do is connect it. So I'm going to connect my son's Ledger device, enter his PIN. All right. And let's turn this on. Okay. Let's do this. That's better. Now you don't see my chin there. All right, so this is Alex's Ledger device. And as you can see, I've got the Bitcoin app, the Dogecoin app, and the Ethereum app on his device. But I don't have any corresponding accounts in my copy of Ledger Live. So how can I transfer crypto onto Alex's device? Well, it's connected. So what I can do is temporarily add his Bitcoin account to my Ledger Live. And after I make the transfer, I can just take it back off again. The Bitcoin will still be in the wallet, but it won't be visible in my Ledger Live anymore. So let's go ahead and temporarily add his device's account into my Ledger Live. So we'll hit Add Account, and we'll choose Bitcoin because I want to transfer some Bitcoin. And I'll open up the Bitcoin app. I'm going to let it sync up. Dan's letting me know we're getting close to the end. Same bat time. I'll have to admit, Dan and I are about the same age. When I was a kid, I was like, I loved Batman. I was like a big Batman fan. And back when I was a kid, the only Batman around was that campy 1960s television series, Batman. And I just loved it. And one of the
things that I remember is that when they had fights, they had like comic sound effects, and I was too young to read, and I would ask my mom to read them for me. So like when they would go biff, pow, I would ask my mom, I was like, what does that say? She'd go biff, pow. And then at the end of the show, they'd always go same bat time, same bat channel. Those were good times. All right, so there's Alex's Bitcoin account. All right, and I want to receive some Bitcoin into his Bitcoin account. We can even do our hardware check because we've got the address connected, right? And we'll just copy the address into our clipboard. Now let's go back over to Trezor, and we're in our Bitcoin account here. Let's do a send. I'll paste in the address of my ledger, and I'll do $50 worth of Bitcoin. And notice it's in sats. You can switch this to Bitcoin if you want. I forget where, but you can. And I'll just do normal fees. We'll do review and send. Actually, let's finish up this, right? We've confirmed the address in Ledger Live, and we'll go ahead and approve that. We've already pasted it over into our Trezor, so we can turn this off, right? And we'll go back over here. Now we're going to do a review and send. And now we'll go back over here to our little table demo. All right, here's our Trezor. We're doing an outgoing transaction, so I need to confirm this. There's the Bitcoin address. I can double check that. I can eyeball it again if I want. We'll tap, all right? And there's the estimated fees. I'll tap again. And then the last thing I have to do is just hold to confirm. So just 2 taps and a hold, and I'm done, which I really love the way the Trezor works. Doggone it, I did it again. Why does this happen to me every time? Batgirl was cute, yes. Catwoman was hot. There's that Bitcoin. All right, so now the Bitcoin has come into the wallet protected by Alex's device. I'm done, right? I can disconnect his device. All right, I can put it back in its box. All right. And then this thing gets tucked away somewhere, and no one's the wiser. And I don't need anyone seeing this in my Ledger Live. And I really don't want it like muddying my waters, you know, with his balances. So I can just remove this account. I can right click and choose edit and remove from portfolio, or I can click into it and click up in the right corner, edit account, and remove from portfolio. That simply takes it out of my Ledger Live. The wallet is still there. The wallet is on the device. I can always access the device at any time I want by just reconnecting it to my computer. I can install a separate copy of Ledger Live on a different computer to manage his device, however I want to manage it, right? Or I could always have his accounts in my Ledger Live and just kind of deal with it, although I really would rather not, right? But that's the way, it's a versatile device. The wallets are never destroyed when you remove them from Ledger Live. The device always remembers all the wallets you create. Oh, I'm back. How long was I out? It wouldn't be a live stream without a Rex mute. Right. I'm back. I checked last week. It was the week before or whatever it was. I think I was only out for about less than 30 seconds. All right. Well, that draws us to the end. I hope that you guys learned a little something tonight about crypto and crypto scams and crypto custody and doing transfers. Thank you, Mark C., for bringing up the swap feature. And no live stream would be complete without, wait. Oh, this little stinker. He got into a fight. He's missing a big chunk of fur and a big scratch. He's messing around outside. He has to watch out. Yeah, so now he's going to lay down on my keyboard and do something weird. I'm sure of it. All right, well, you say goodnight to everybody, kitty cat. And I hope to see you guys next week. Let's see where we're at here. Yeah, don't forget, we do this every Saturday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions, and I'll do my best to get them answered. The cat and I will see you next week. He's probably going to mute something by putting his head on the keyboard there. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me tonight.